Broke love. Love is true, it ain't about the size of your pockets. What I do for you, you for me.
Welcome back to Consequence Podcast. I'm your host, North Miami's finest, Vladimir Dubois, better known as Tyson, and my lovely, beautiful wife.
Hey, it's your pal, Val, a.k.a. Valerie Dubois. And together, my husband and I are going to dive into this thing called relationships.
Yes, and we also have a special guest. This guy, I've known him for years, since we were kids. He's my brother. He's my brother's keeper, Yrvens Guerrier.
All right.
Hey, y'all. Good afternoon or good evening.
Yrvens, thank you for coming to Consequence Podcast.
Thank you.
This is where we talk about good, the bad, and everything in between. Today, we're going to be talking about why is it so hard to commit in a relationship.
Yes, that'll be really cool. But before we go into our main topic, which is commitment, we're going to do a quick round of So Random. If you recall, So Random is a segment of our show where we ask each other random questions. So basically, Vladimir hasn't heard any of the questions, and neither have I.
That's right. I can't wait. But first, video of the week. This video I found on World Star. The title of the video is called You Fucked Up Dickhead.
Oh, wow.
Long story short, I'm going to keep this quick. I caught my ex-boyfriend of about a year and a half texting his ex-girlfriend behind my back, and I'm one of those people who likes to give the benefit of the doubt, so I did not confront him about this. I don't know what they were saying or what they were talking about, so I just left it be. And then a couple weeks later, I was hanging out with one of my girlfriends, and her friend, her name is Haley, that's kind of important to know, and Haley decided that she was going to test his loyalty. So she texted him from her number, and he bought it. He played along like she was just into him and they wanted to get to know each other. And so he bought it and booked a hotel for them to meet each other. And once he booked the hotel, he goes there, texts her when he gets there. This was a couple weeks after the whole him texting his ex behind my back situation. So then he's expecting Haley to show up at the hotel to meet him. And instead of her showing up, it was my dad and myself. So we called him out. Everyone expected there to be violence and for us to get physical, but that is not at all what happened. We taught him a lesson verbally.
All right, you can check that video out on World Star, but I just want to ask you, Val, what do you think about that video?
I think that the guy was really trifling. She should have looked at the red flags.
You think so? What do you think, Irv?
Man messed up. He slipped. And his girl picked up on it. He got caught.
You don't think it was something wrong in the relationship for him to be cheating like that?
Mm-mm.
What? You know what I think? He wasn't ready to commit.
They were already together for a year and a half, though.
But he wasn't ready to commit.
At what time was he going to realize he wasn't ready to commit?
It takes a while for a man to say, I'm ready to commit, right?
It depends, because there's different levels of commitment, right, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Right. Because your version of commitment versus someone else's version of commitment can be different.
So, if we both decide that we're going to be exclusive, okay, isn't that what committed means?
The key word is you both, you know, and that's usually not agreed upon on a relationship. It's usually one or the other who makes that decision to be exclusive, while the other one is still figuring it out. Usually in most cases, in my humble opinion.
All right, but in this case, he wasn't ready to commit. Obviously, right?
Because for him, he could have.
Yeah, obviously, he wasn't ready to commit. If he was ready to commit, he wouldn't have did what he did.
I don't know all the variables that took place in their relationship, but
he flew out to go meet the girl. He was committed to go cheat, but he wasn't ready to commit to being in a relationship. You don't know when you're ready to commit. Like, if you're in a relationship for 4 years, I think that's marriage material. I think you could say, I'm ready to be married. I don't think people should wait over 10 years to finally figure out what they want and who they want to be with unless they're not ready to commit. What do you think, Irv?
I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
I love his face figure when I looked at him. Go ahead.
I'm processing everything, and I'm a little unorthodox on my thoughts and process on things because, we automatically think he cheated, he's not ready to commit. And I don't necessarily
Are we watching the same video here?
Again, that's why I
Are
say it's a little
we're not
unorthodox.
watching the same
That's why I
video.
say I'm a little unorthodox.
Okay.
Because, yes, he cheated and he's absolutely wrong for that. But that doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, mean he can't or wasn't ready to commit. Men cheat, unfortunately, for women. And
Wait, not just men though.
women cheat too,
Okay.
but we always get the brunt of it, or the majority who get caught is men or whatnot.
Yeah.
But when
Women
men
are just
cheat,
good at doing it though. But go ahead.
but when men cheat though, men doesn't cheat because they're not committed to the. It's just something that's in our nature to do sometimes, where we're not emotionally attached
God,
to it.
wait
I
a
know
minute.
if you look at all the other animals in the world,
Okay.
humans, which is an animal species, are the only one who try to be monogamous and try to be with one
Agreed.
partner. Every other animal species, male species that is, they go and impregnate multiple, procreate with multiple female of their own species.
Give me a species.
You got the lions, you got any other animals you can think of.
Okay.
Yes, they have their pride, but usually it's multiple women and females, I should say, in their pride.
So he's talking about an African lion. In Africa,
Well, lions are
they can have
everywhere.
multiple wives over there.
Nah.
I mean, look at the Bible. I mean,
What does the Bible
some
say?
of the great men in the Bible have
Ooh, he hit
multiple
the
wives.
Bible,
I'm not
Lord,
trying to hit the
amen.
Bible.
All right.
I'm just saying some of the great men in the Bible have multiple wives.
Can you give me one?
King Solomon.
Uh-huh.
He had
All
multiple wives.
There you
I'm not
go.
advocating it, but I'm just saying.
Sir, it sounds like you're advocating
my,
it for
my
me.
point I'm trying to make
Right.
is that yes, the man cheated and yes, it's
Yes.
wrong. It doesn't necessarily mean he can't be committed to that woman, because in my opinion, when a man cheats, it's not like when a woman cheats, because the man is not emotionally invested in the cheating. So at the end of the day, he's going to always make sure he's committed to, I know it sounds crazy, but just hear me.
Yeah.
He's going to be committed to his wife, making sure his wife is good, his household is good, his kids is good.
That's
He's
it.
going to commit to that.
Yeah.
And still, he can still cheat, but then he's going to come back and make sure everything is in order. But when the
man
women
should.
cheat, she's emotionally invested, so
Oh, yeah.
things going to go into disarray because
I
she
agree.
no longer is invested in the home that she's in now. Now she's invested in the other home
Yeah, he
that
hitting
she's
it.
with the man.
Damn.
So, and that's because that's the nature of the woman and the emotional attachment they have when it comes to cheating and to sex.
Dr. Love is in the
I'm
No, I'm not Dr. Love.
No,
I'm just my
shit.
opinion. It's just an opinion.
You should write
I
a
have
book.
I have no facts. This is just
Hey.
my personal opinion.
But your opinions are very well heard.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
With what part?
To some, I've known men who cheated and have been so invested in the side chicks, whatever
Hey.
is going on, that they've destroyed their family. They've spent more time with the side chick.
But then
more
at that point, that man was
resources.
no longer committed to that relationship.
Exactly.
He's an outlier. We're not talking
And
about that man. We're talking
I don't
the man.
know.
We're talking, and what I said earlier, there's different level of commitment. What are we, so we can't just look at commitment and it's one thing. It's a variable. It varies on a lot of other aspects.
Professor Guerrier is speaking right now, sir.
I think that's a little bit of a cop out. That's just me.
That what is the cop out?
If you and I decide that we're going to be committed, we're going to be
But see,
exclusive.
see the key word you're saying.
What?
If you and I,
The young lady in the video did not say this guy that I'm talking to, this guy that I like. She said this is her actual boyfriend.
Okay.
Okay, there is a title.
how did he view the relationship? We don't know.
We don't know.
Well, that's
but
my point.
The fact that her dad got involved, it means this is someone that has been in
He's
his
known the
life.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
he's
that mean?
invested.
So if
I mean-
if I'm dating you and I meet your dad, that means we exclusive?
Not
if-
necessarily, but if just based on the information that we had in the video, we're going to have to assume that they were exclusive because of what she said. She said that was her boyfriend. There was an actual title.
What does commitment means to you, though?
That's the good question there. What is commitment? What is my version? What is your version? What is
Right.
her version or definition of
But
commitment?
what is the definition of commitment?
I mean, we would have to look that up to
Yeah,
see
we'll
the
have to look that
actual
up.
Webster's definition of commitment.
Can I ask you a question, Professor Guerrier? Can I ask you a question? Have you ever been committed?
Yeah, I've been committed. I've been in a committed relationship. Absolutely.
And so, I'm sorry, I want to. If you don't want to
Where
say
are you
anything,
going
just
here?
I
stop.
ain't got to worry. I'm not going to
Okay.
incriminate myself.
All right.
So ask away. You may not get your answer, but you can ask away.
Okay, so before you continue, I do
Yes.
want to say there are a few definitions of commitment, but from dictionary.com, it says the act of committing, pledging, engaging oneself. Okay, it's a pledge or a promise or an obligation. Okay, dedication, allegiance. Okay.
So with that being said, what are we obligating to?
Right.
Is it to take care of the household or the family? Is it to nurture your partner? What is it? That's why there's a lot of variables.
You get married, there's a whole list of sickness.
Right.
Health,
That's the vows.
I would think that
The
that's
vows,
probably
okay.
one of the reasons that they.
So what does commitment
they
mean
do
to
that.
you?
For me,
Yes.
commitment is just being in a relationship, and I'm not talking about just like romantic, but a relationship where you've made an agreement
There you go.
to be with a person or to, you know, whatever it is that you've decided to do together.
So from the dictionary
Did
you
that
read,
say that? I don't remember you reading that.
He asked my opinion, my version.
No, I heard. No, that's fine.
Okay.
That's your opinion, which is fine.
Okay.
I agree with 100% with that. But just going back, I just want to make sure
It
we
says pledging, allegiance,
pledging allegiance. Okay.
dedication, obligation,
Right.
a promise, the act of committing,
Uh-oh.
which is
Okay.
pledging and
Okay.
engaging
So-
oneself. Like I said, once again, it's based on what she said. If she said that this is her boyfriend, we can only go by that. If I am your girlfriend and you are my boyfriend, then that means we are in a committed relationship.
Okay.
Now she didn't say it was an open relationship, and I don't think if it was open, she would have had an issue. So
With him sleeping
you know,
around.
I'm just.
And I don't think he would have had to hide it.
Exactly.
Okay, I
So
got
that's
you.
why I feel like there was a commitment. You know,
Or maybe a miscommunication.
after a year and a half.
Could be, right?
Come on.
I'm certain. I have to assume, not
Uh-huh.
certain. I'm assuming that obviously there was a disconnect in that relationship for him to not commit. So when it comes to commitment, in my opinion, especially when it comes to commitment into a relationship, I think that there's different expectations when it comes into the commitment that a lot of us, including myself, we don't give consideration for it. So what I mean by that is that, okay, we're committed to being an exclusive relationship, just you and I. But then there's other variables that question or challenges that commitment that makes me now feel you may no longer be committed. And it may not necessarily have to do anything with cheating. It can be the way you treat me. Now I feel like you're no longer committed to me now. Now you're selfish. Now you broke that commitment that I thought we had. It made me act a different way because
Now, wouldn't you want to communicate and let that
Of course.
That's
partner
what I was
know?
gonna say.
you're going to want to communicate, but you know.
But what?
Sometimes men are not always great communicators, and when they do communicate, sometimes women are not ready to hear it. Because in their mind, they feel like they're doing what they think they're supposed to be doing, and that the man is just trying to find a way.
I gotta agree with that a little bit. but-
Try to find a way to complain so he can feel some type of way. And that's how women feel sometimes. Like you mentioned earlier, we're looking for a cop-out. Not necessarily looking for a cop-out, but it's just that, again, there's different variables that challenges that commitment that I don't think men or women give a lot of thought to. And we automatically think cheating breaks the commitment. And it's not always just cheating. There's a lot of other things that challenges the commitment.
Just to piggyback off of what you said there are variables that challenge the commitment. But at this point in time, if you are my boyfriend, I'm your girlfriend, we are still in a committed relationship.
So cheating is the only way of breaking the commitment.
No,
No, other ways you can break the commitment.
We have to have a conversation where we say, okay, as of today, we are no longer in a committed relationship.
That's not what I'm asking.
Even
I'm-
if you cheated, until we have that
So let's say-
conversation, we're still.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Let's say we're in a relationship. We're in a committed, what you understand or what we are saying is a committed relationship.
Right.
Me and you, I'm not seeing nobody else. You're not seeing nobody else. And we're committed to one another. That commitment we're agreeing upon, since it's an agreement, a pledge we're making to one another. That commitment that we're saying we're agreeing to, the only way, I'm asking a question now, is the only way to break that commitment is cheating? Or can that commitment be broken in other ways?
The commitment can be broken in other ways. So what I'm
So
saying, even if the
what are
person
other ways,
cheated,
though?
even if the person lied,
When you
even
say
if the
that.
person was disloyal, went behind your back, those are things that they've done against the commitment, but there's still a committed relationship until we say that we're no longer committed.
So
Okay.
can I cheat and still say we're in a committed relationship?
Yes.
Because you're just, okay, I agree with that.
Yes,
I can
we're
cheat
still in a committed relationship.
even though he cheated. I agree with that because it's no difference if you break the commitment in another way. And to your point, we're still in a committed relationship, regardless if the commitment was challenged, was
That's
or
the
whatnot.
word.
So I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like it's always it's cheated. You broke the
over.
commitment. It's over.
Right.
But it's like, well, you can break the commitment in other ways without necessarily cheating, man or woman.
No, cheating is just a bigger.
It gets more attention.
Right, it gets more attention.
But why? Why do you think it gets more attention?
Because cheating with someone else.
Because I think society put this notion that for one man and one woman to be together and that's it. That's what we were raised to believe, and that's why it's such a big deal, because that's our society, is what is acceptable. So we try to stay in line, and we don't want to go against the grain. So it gets a lot of light when you hear people cheat. For example, now it's not to say it's okay, but it's normal to hear a man cheat and for the woman to take him back because that's what happens more frequently. But when a woman gets caught cheating, it gets a little more light on that because women are not supposed to be the one cheating. So because that's what society standards are.
Wow. I just had chills when you said that. I'm sorry. Cheating seems like it's the biggest thing. But I'm asking, why is it so hard for people to commit? That's the main thing I'm trying to figure out.
Again, I think it's a variable thing. For a man, when he wants to commit to a woman, that woman has to show herself to be worthy to be committed to. Because a man is going to always sacrifice. He's the sacrificer. He's going to sacrifice himself, his life, for his family. So that woman has to display herself to be worthy. Like, okay, if I'm going to commit to you, you have to show yourself to be worthy enough for me to be able to say, all right, if something goes down, I'm going to lay my life for you because I'm committed to you. But I'm not going to do that for any old woman who has selfish tendencies or don't show to care for me that way.
What are you talking about like that?
I'm just talking about this in general.
Like
women tend to be women.
I felt that. I felt like you were talking about
women in general are very selfish.
Yeah.
You know, and men, we're the cause of that.
You think that? What do you think, Val?
I completely disagree.
Damn.
I apologize, but I think it's the other way around. Men have historically and even till now been the selfish ones in relationships.
Why do you say that men are selfish?
Women are the one who always have to take care of themselves and the man and the children.
Wow.
So what do the men do?
Time.
What do the men do all the time? We do nothing?
I'm waiting for it.
You know what?
Yeah.
I mean, historically speaking, in the past,
we provide.
The man's job was to provide. Okay?
And what else? That's
Why?
it, just to provide? That's it. That's all we do.
Hopefully
Damn, I'm hurt.
That's it.
And hopefully love.
So it's okay then. Hey, it's okay.
Right,
Hold on, I got this. So we in bed, right? You and your wife in bed. She hear a noise at the back door because all we do is provide. That's it. We don't protect. We don't protect.
Right.
Protect his voice.
So you're in the bed.
The other night we heard something. And she's like,
and
"Can I be go check, please?"
No. But since we don't protect, she'll be like,
No,
"Hey, baby, I'm scared too. Just like you scared. You need to get up and go check that." You know? You gonna tell her to go check that?
That just slipped my mind. Provide, protect.
Yeah.
But see how easily that slipped your mind though, because we don't, as men, we don't get credit.
Everything that women do on a daily basis.
No, we understand that women do a lot. Take care of the children, cook, clean. We know.
So I think there's a thing where we have a different generation right now that is coming. We have two different generations. We have the modernized generation and we have the old school generation of our grandparents, where everybody knew their role back in the days. Back in our grandparents' days, they knew their role. They knew their role as a wife, as a mother, and the men knew their role. Now, not to say that it was all right, because the men did some foolishness that women shouldn't have tolerated, but they did. Because you didn't hear our grandparents divorcing how we hear a divorcing rate is now. But because everybody knew their role and accept their role and they tolerate certain things, not to say everything they tolerated is right. I'm not saying that at all. But I think there was a better understanding in the role when it comes to the household, because what you were alluding to was that women take care of the kids and the household, which that was the role old school women would do. And then old school men would be the provider and the protector.
Yep.
You know, and that was our role. And everybody understood their role. But now, don't jump on my neck on this, I think there's been a shift in role.
A big shift.
And it caused confusion now.
Big shift.
Women want old school ways with modernized thinking, and it doesn't work that way.
God, he hit it on the nail.
I don't know.
Damn.
No, and that's what it is.
You know, college did well for my brother over here, man. I swear. He hit it on the nail, Val. What do you think?
He hit it on what now?
He hit from how I'm thinking, from what I guess from how he's thinking.
You know what?
It seemed like I think he's right. I mean, what do you think?
I think that women were really oppressed back then.
I'm not arguing that. You're right.
So with that, all these roles that are being spoken about are roles where women were oppressed, didn't have a word, didn't have a say in things, weren't allowed to work, okay? Just a lot of things. So the man had to be the provider because women weren't allowed, okay? So now, as living expenses are getting, even higher, women can work, right? Let me move it back a little bit. So back then, the men were the provider, they were the protector, all of that. The women just, stay in the kitchen, having babies, and taking care of the household. Why? It wasn't that they were happy about it. That's how society was. So now you have society moving in a direction where women are getting more say, where they're allowed to be educated, where they're allowed to work. Right. And then even if they didn't want to, but because of the economic things going on, they have to work. But now we're stuck in a position where the man and the woman are both providers, yet men want the women to still be the one to take care of the household, take care of the kids, do everything that the women were doing,
over there. What's going on?
and still help the man provide. But most men have not now. They don't help the women to take care of the house. So, of course, you're going to have, discord. Of course, you're going to have more divorces because if I have to help you to provide, not because it's your fault, but because of, the way the society is, because of the inflation, whatever it is, why is it that men are not helping women? That's my thing.
I got this.
I
got this.
Oh, okay.
So, you're saying that we don't help at all? I
didn't say at all. For the most part, many men are still in this mentality. Well, my job is to provide and protect, right?
Right.
And the woman's job is to cook, clean, take care of the kids.
Wait a minute, I don't see you outside more on the lawn. I don't see you outside cutting the
bushes. But I know many women who do. I know many women who do.
Really?
This is a new age.
Tag, you're it. Go ahead.
Okay. I know many of mine.
Listen, I clean the dishes.
Yes,
I change the baby diaper when he needs to be changed.
I don't want to come off as chauvinistic, but
okay.
I'm going to say one thing, the gender roles.
Oh.
We don't have any gender roles.
KP.
This generation don't have gender roles. So we are the provider now. We're the caretaker. We do everything. You guys do it too. We're not trying to take that away from you guys. But I think it's like this generation is more like we don't have a role anymore. We want to wear the pants and wear the skirt at the same time.
Talking about women.
Today.
Okay.
So you want equal rights, like the same way.
So basically it's 50-50 then, right? Is what you're saying.
But that's what I mean.
Supposed to be.
But at the end of the day, we're still women. We want to be treated like a woman and everything else. And I understand that we have a tone with you guys.
You can't come in smelling just like me if I'm coming from work.
I think that's where the problem occurs.
Yes.
We don't know our roles.
There's no role identification. And now women want to wear the pants and the skirt. And they can tell a man now, hey, I'm working just like you're working, which is fine. But then it's like, but you still need to treat me like the old school woman. Like, you need to open my door. If I'm scared, you need to come protect me. Because I can't tell you now, if both of us working, we're both splitting the bills. Let's say we both splitting the bills. We're both taking care of the house. I'm washing dishes. I'm cleaning just like you are. But then I'm in bed and I'm scared and you're scared. And you're gonna, and then I tell you, hey, babe, no, I'm scared too. You go look, then you're gonna look at.
Together.
Hey, how about we both go together,
Let's
right?
go it together. I believe in that.
You get the phone, I get the gun.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, who is going to be the one in the front to sacrifice?
There you go.
And I agree, it should be the man. I agree, and I'm not arguing that, but my point I want to make is that the man is always going to be the one to sacrifice. The real man is going to be the one to sacrifice.
Say that.
Okay.
Mature men.
Real women out there.
I'm going to say the mature men. I'm not, because there's different types of men. The mature men would do that.
Right, but the thing is, I think that happened that messed a lot of things up. I'm for women's rights and all that, to vote and all that, but I think where the lines got kind of messed up is that women now think they're just as equal to a man. There's no way a woman can be equal to a man where we're not being judged
We're not trying to say
on
that.
the same playing field. A lot of women do. Nowadays, a lot of women can say, I can do just exactly what a man can do.
So where did it stem
Why
from?
can't-
It stems from the single moms that's doing everything, don't need another guy to do it. But not all women are screaming that we want to do this equal
Not a
thing and
lot,
everything
but
else,
then
but we have no
there's
choice.
a movement of women, I'm independent, I don't need a man, I can do this. That's why you have a lot of women raising boys thinking they want to raise boys to men, but then what they're doing is raising the men to what they believe a man should be, and then when that boy becomes a man and is not acting the way a man should be, now they're blaming, oh, it's because the men are this, men are that. It's like, well, who raised that man? A woman did. You're supposed to raise that man the way you think a man should be. But then you're learning now the way you're raising these boys.
And this is the way men think. This is how we think.
And
What
I
he's
think
saying
that
is actually,
before-
and we see it.
Before you guys start making those assumptions, you need to sit
Assumption
and
of what?
assumption that all these women want to be independent. It's not like that.
It's
You're
not what
missing
we're saying.
a
It's what
whole
they're
thing.
saying.
You're
It's what
missing
women
the
are
whole
saying
thing.
out loud. It's what they're saying.
So you don't think majority of women are boasting that they're independent?
Not
they don't need
They
a
have
man?
majority.
no choice.
Not majority.
They have
It's
no choice.
some.
It's not
I
the
think y'all
majority.
put us
What do you mean
all
they
in
have no
one
choice?
pot. It's
What do you
just-
mean women
it's-
don't have a choice? I'm sorry. I want to make sure I'm
They
clear.
some of them don't have no choice.
What do you mean they don't have a choice?
So what happened?
You got men in jail.
We have black men in jail. What you're saying? The black.
I'm
family,
explaining.
it's not like you're
We're
saying.
explaining to you that we don't have a choice. It's an option if they're not available, and that's not our
Exactly.
resource.
Exactly.
Some women, not say majority, some treat their sons like their comfort husband. We're not the one that's raising them.
She hit that
Who is
other
raising them?
Like I said, there's
If the
the
men are
some,
not
not majority, because the majority is trying to stay above water.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. So when you're in a position where you don't have a man for whatever reason, it could be any of those reasons that you came up with, and you are struggling, how are you going to boost yourself to make it every day? So a lot of these women, when they're saying, I'm an independent woman, they are saying that to themselves. You don't know when they go home, they're crying at night. They're feeling weak. These are things that they have to say to themselves and say it out loud to give them strength.
So basically motivation is what
they're
you're saying.
motivating themselves.
Okay, I understand.
You understand? It's
That's
not
how-
like most women, you say majority, but most women is the opposite, okay? If I were alone, I would be Miss Independent. But if I had a choice, I'm going to be with my husband. I want to be codependent on someone. Mm-hmm. But if I'm not, I have to find ways to boost myself.
Well, no doubt, we're human, so we're going to
Yeah.
always adapt to our circumstances. We have no choice because we're going to naturally adapt the best we know how to. But I think that there's been a culture movement where whether the women is doing it in our face for show and then go cry
It's
and
to
dark.
empower. It's to empower themselves and to empower other women.
I think the empowerment part is fine, but I think it gets taken overboard. Because I think when it comes to the empowerment of women, women now are putting them in a position, almost in a position where traditionally men are. Not to say that I don't think a woman can lead. Yeah, absolutely, whatever. I have a woman boss at my job.
Listen, ladies,
so I
if you
get
guys
it.
want to look for this guy, his name is Yrvens Guerrier.
No, I'm not on social media. You can't find me, so that's why I'm talking freely.
Play
But
for FAU.
I'm not finna get
Number
blasted.
92. Number 92.
But I think that because the lack of role identification and women, like you said to your point, were forced to have to raise their kids as a single parent because the men were not present for whatever reason, it did put a shift in how things are playing out now. You know, and I think that also with this women empowerment, it threw off roles that were traditionally understood with both parties. And not to say, again, I'm not going to say it was right or wrong. All I can say, statistics can show that back then the divorce rate was a lot lower than what it is now. Now, did women tolerate a lot of BS? Absolutely they did. And I'm not trying to small play that at all. They absolutely tolerated a lot of BS from the man. But to go back to the original topic, they committed. Because usually it's the woman who is leaving the relationship because they can't take it no more. Men leave the relationship too, I get that. We do too. But usually it's, all right, you know what? Yeah, this man is BS. He did this, he did that, but I'm going to stay committed to this relationship. Now, when it goes back to the original topic of, commitment, men, and I made the statement that the women have to show themselves to be like, okay, I'm ready to commit myself to this woman, is because, like, I'm ready to lay my life down. Yeah, not to say women are not going to do it. They're going to do it, but usually here, a woman going to do that for their kids, and that's natural.
Would you lay your life down for me, baby?
You better believe it.
You didn't even look at me when you said that. I'm dead.
No. Honestly, I just feel like, for me, men, I think I'm really progressive. And I hear you saying about, how people are not staying committed and things like that. And honestly, for me, I'm like, maybe that's a good thing. I don't want to look good on paper. I want to look good and feel good in real life. So if the statistics are showing that, more and more people are not staying committed relationships, not staying married for 60 years, I'd like to find out why. And if I find out that it's because men or women are choosing their mental health, I'm all for it. That's just me.
I just think that when it comes to committing to a relationship, especially if you're talking about now let's get married, I think some men have this notion that I'm going to be stuck in prison, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone is fine with being boyfriend or girlfriend, but now when it comes down to marriage, that's where people get the cold feet to want to be in a relationship, want to be married. They don't want to commit to that. What do you think about that?
It's what are we committing to? Because also men are in control of relationships. Because
society has always said that.
No, it's what it is.
Men are the ones who wrote those rules, though. And now we're getting to the point where women are opening their eyes.
So where is that getting us?
That's getting us to a place where...
So you think we're in a better state now when it comes to relationships than we were, let's say, back in our grandparents' generation?
So tell me this, who painted a picture of a white picket fence in the White House? A lot of young girls grow up thinking that, I have to find my Prince Charming. I'm going to have a big house with a white picket fence. Who put that in their mind? Their mom, right?
Mr. Walt Disney.
Okay.
They're so saying, happy wife, happy life.
Hey,
right?
I think I wrote that somewhere down the line.
All right. So I think there's an asterisk there that some women miss, because they're quick to tell their man that, hey, don't you ever hear happy wife, happy life? Which is, I get the saying, but what the asterisk that a lot of some women miss is that women who are saying that, who can say that with confidence, they're handling their business for their man, because their man is going to go even harder than they're going to make sure they have their happy life. If a woman is giving 10%, that man is going to give 20%.
Damn right.
A man is always going to give more and sacrifice more than a woman will do in a relationship.
100%.
I absolutely disagree.
You can disagree. It's opinion. It's my opinion.
Sacrifice so much more for the relationship than men do.
When you say sacrifice for a relationship, what exactly do you mean by that?
So what I mean is that women make more changes to themselves in order to make a relationship work.
Like how? Give me an example. What do you mean?
Well, for one, we were speaking about cheating earlier. In relationships, women sacrifice their emotional well-being more than men do and stay in a relationship.
Why is that?
Men are... What'd you say?
Why is that?
Why? Because that's how, society at one time, and we're trying to change that, but society made it so that it was okay for men to cheat.
No, that's not why.
That's one of the...
I'm going to share my... Let me not say that's not why. Let me share my opinion on why. And that particular reason is not. And I mentioned it earlier.
You mean in the past or now?
Now, even now. Because when a man cheats, because you're saying when a man cheats, the woman sacrificing and would be willing to forgive him in the name of relationship, right? But there's a reason why a woman can do that easily where a man cannot. And I mentioned that earlier because once again, not down my throat, when a man cheats, he does not cheat emotionally.
Right.
It's just an act. I'm going to go home, back to my girl, back to my wife, and make sure home is okay. I'm not thinking, hear me out, I'm not thinking about that chick if she ate the next day, did she go to work? I don't care. It was just a night. Where when a woman cheats, the woman cheat emotionally. Yes. She's thinking about them like, oh, he had a very important meeting. Mm-hmm. I wonder, did he prepare? Oh, did he get lunch? Now she's emotionally invested. Mm-hmm. What is one of the first questions most women ask their man when he cheats? Do you love her? Oh my God! Because she knows. If he says, most women, I ain't never asked that. Most women, wait a minute. Knows if he says yes.
You free to ask that question?
Yes, I've been through it.
But most women, not you, but a lot of women.
We're gonna get there in a minute, though.
A lot of women, when they get cheated on, one of the first questions they ask that man is, "Did you love her?" Because she knows at the end of the day, if he says yes, she loves her, that relationship, there's no salvaging that. Because once you're emotionally invested, that relationship is done.
That's it.
And that's why it's harder for a man, again, to accept a woman who cheats than it is for a woman to accept a man, because men don't cheat emotionally.
Damn.
We don't cheat. We don't, in most parts. There's some outliers, of course.
Black men don't cheat.
Most men do not cheat emotionally.
But I think
they're not ready.
Conditioned.
Huh?
It was.
It's not a condition. It's just what it is.
I don't agree.
That's just what it is, because there are men who can cheat and be like, I would never leave my wife, and they will still go out and go cheat. Mm-hmm. But they will never have any intention. Where a woman can have a good man, may not be happy, but he's a good provider, doing everything else.
And she will
it's just
leave
something
him.
She's missing, that she'll be willing to leave him because she's able to get whatever she's missing from that other man, and she will leave that relationship to go jump on a new one. Where a man, because he's emotionally invested, where a man, he would never do that because most of the time he's not emotionally invested. I don't accept that a woman using that to where she'll sacrifice to keep a relationship, because a woman already knows most men
That's
are
not why women are doing it, though. You can't, like, you're answering for women and you're saying the woman is sacrificing because of that.
No, you said that.
No, I didn't. No, I'm saying because of, the fact that men, are not emotionally invested, and that's not why women stay.
So why do women stay?
For the most part, and we're going to go historically again, it's because women, the men were the providers. Women were shunned for leaving a relationship, even though the man is the one who may have done something wrong. No woman is going to stay and say, oh, I'm going to stay because my man was not emotionally invested.
If your man came back and said, yes, I loved her, and let's say you can stand on your own, you're not dependent on that man.
That love part is what's going to kill it.
Let's say you're not dependent on him, like you don't need his finances to get by, and he comes back to you and you caught him cheating, you're willing to forgive him, and he comes back and say, yes, I had feelings for her, yes, I love her. Would you still be willing to take him back?
I wouldn't want to take him back either way, though. That's the thing. I wouldn't want to take him back, even if he said he wasn't emotionally invested. But
we're going to agree to disagree.
Listen, I do agree with you when you say that if a man is emotionally invested, the relationship is completely done. I get that. I actually agree with you.
I feel like if you love someone, and what you were saying earlier, if he comes back to you and he tells you that he's in love with this person, or he has feelings for this person, it is not that easy to say, well, I'm just going to cut it. I'm not going to be with him. I'm just going to leave. It's not that easy. It's not that simple, especially if you invested feelings. You're gonna say to yourself, well, let me see if I can at least fight for him or fight for her. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to just walk up and leave. So I get what he's saying, but I also get what you're saying. I think
it's complicated. Relationships are complicated.
It's complicated. There's no manual for it. There's no book written for it. It's just us going off of feelings. And if you love someone, you're going to fight for that person. You're going to try to make it work. And if this person loves someone else, then you've done everything you could, and it didn't work. And then what do you do after that? You move on and you try to rebuild yourself. It's not going to be easy, but you just have to try, right? I've seen men cry. I've seen women cry. I've seen men fall. But I've also seen people build themselves back up. I like the way you said that. Like you got something to say.
Yes, to your point, relationships are very different. Trying to stay in line with the original topic with commitment, it's that men and women both, the man has to give something for that woman to commit to, and vice versa.
Yes.
The woman would have to offer something to that man so that man can be committed to her. So it is a two-way street when it comes to commitment. I think the disconnect sometimes is what we believe to be important to one another, or what it's important to me, or I hold a lot of value to, that it may put a blurred line to what my perception of your commitment to me can be, and you don't hold the same value for that same thought process.
If she doesn't hold the same interest as you,
not necessarily hold the same interest, have different value. For me, something can hold a value of 80, where for a woman, they'd be like, to me, that's not that big of a deal. And then because for me, that holds such a high value, it may subconsciously make me question whether you're not as committed to us as I thought you were.
So what do you do in that instance?
You try your best to communicate, and then...
Well, you said earlier, men aren't good at communicating, so
some men, but then women are not good listeners either.
They think they are.
So there's the problem. Men are not good communicators. Women are not great listeners.
There's a difference. I can listen, but do I comprehend?
That too.
Okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Very true.
You can hear me, but are you comprehending what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That is very true.
Because remember, you can say an apple. I don't know what an apple is. So you tell me apple is a fruit. That's when I understand the conversation.
Someone once told me common sense isn't really that common.
Right, that's fact. That's fact. Mm-hmm. It's not always that common, but then it's when you're understanding your partner and what your partner holds at high value. And you understand
hold at high value, what do you
whatever
mean
the values may be, because everybody's value may be different.
What that person brings to the table.
And not only what she brings to the table, because that's another thing too, because that could be another topic, but women think they bring their vajayjay and their beauty to the table, and that's all. And that's all.
Think like that. Not all women think like that.
No, not all. I would be ignorant to say all women. Not all. A lot. But not all. Not all. Maybe not. You gotta understand. You're looking at yourself, and you're looking maybe at your inner circle. But there's a whole lot of other women out there that have. Just like, how do you think these wealthy men who are not so attractive get these beautiful women?
Talk about sugar daddies? Or just
sugar daddies, all that, because
they have the whole package.
What is the whole package?
What do you mean? You mean the whole package in the account, or
that's what I'm just
because
saying.
The way is the more zeros you have, the more attractive you become for a woman.
Yeah.
This is how messed up the game is. You hardly, I ain't gonna say never, but you hardly hear of a woman taking a broke down man, building him up, and bringing him to something where you hear a lot where a man. Listen,
that's literally what is happening in the black community.
So you would take a broke man who has nothing going for himself.
I've done that. I have been in relationships where
she ain't talking about me.
I'm not. I'm talking about in my past. I'm not talking about he had a downfall, something happened, and you holding him now. I'm talking about when you met him, you met him with nothing. Yes. This is what's going on in the black community because of the amount. My point is, it's not as frequent as for a man to take a woman who don't has nothing and will fund her way to school, make her go to nursing school, education school, whatever, hold her down to make sure she can become something where you don't have a lot of, you don't have that. Past. I mean, it happens now, but it happened mostly in the past. Right now, what black are dealing with right now. Take yourself out of your little circle. Because you're looking at it, don't look at it in your little circle. I'm not. These are things that people write about. Like, this is not just in my little circle.
I deal with a lot of people and I have a lot of friends. Also, you too. A lot of the friends we have in common, but I also have friends in Polk County, Florida, Orlando, Florida, even New York. And I kind of see a lot of the friends that I have, male friends, that actually depend on their significant other.
Yeah, because again, there's a shift in the role. They're not understanding each other's role. My thing is, everybody's role is their own individual role. Yeah. Because whatever role works for that relationship, that's that individual relationship. Because me, I don't have a problem washing dishes, mopping the floor. I don't like bathrooms, so I don't clean bathrooms much. But I don't have a problem mopping the floor, doing dishes. I changed diapers when my daughter was born. I had no problem changing diapers. I braided hair. I learned. I don't have no problem doing that.
You braid hair?
I braided hair. One day I took my daughter to summer camp, came back with a bunch of sand in her hair. Mom was not around. I'm like, God, I couldn't put her to bed. I had to wash her hair, comb that sucker out.
There you go.
And braid it out.
And you said earlier, men don't do what women do.
No. I said men in general are not helping women as much as women are helping.
Well, you hear what he said?
Men are not helping
As far
women.
as the roles that we were discussing, the gender roles where men were providing.
So would you be okay with you taking care of your man and your man don't work?
It depends.
We got a lot of good movies
It
that I can just sit
depends.
on the couch all day.
I have had situations
But
where,
I'm not that
okay,
kind of
right
man,
now you're
yeah.
not working, so I'm the one who's going to be the breadwinner, and then vice versa.
In your opinion, do you think majority of women would be okay taking care of a man?
Unless you live in Georgia.
No, stop.
In your opinion.
I think that majority of women are not okay with it, but they settle. And I'm being honest.
But the point is
they're not okay with it.
Okay. Do you think a lot of men take care of women?
Yes.
I don't think it's as much as it used to be. I think now the roles are reversed. I think there are more women
You
taking
think
care
now
of
there's more women taking care
Yes.
of? Really?
Because
Yeah, you need to get out this bubble here.
No, I'm not in the bubble.
You are.
Listen, black women are now the most educated people in the United States, which means
Honestly,
black women in general are
There's
making
no way you
more.
can be the most when we're not even the majority.
No, if you look at, because the majority
Black women
of people
now, I'm not gonna lie
don't
to
go
you,
college.
black women now
more
are
black
more.
women have
Oh yeah, more
college
from back
degrees.
then. Yeah,
No,
more-
not back then.
more
now.
successful
They
and-
are more
and
successful.
they're
This is
actually-
not me, my
meaning-
opinion.
No, I know.
Women are more
I've noticed for a fact.
Women are more successful now.
Now.
Of course, there's no
Yeah.
arguing that.
Above the black male, though. That's
In the
what
black
I'm saying.
community, there
It's
are
not
a lot.
opinion.
There are a
So
lot
you
more.
feel like today, black women are outwaging black men right
There's
now.
some studies that I have
That
read.
is
This is
true.
not my
Wait,
opinion.
I need you to
What's
cite
in
Many
it?
that.
over the
Yeah.
years, I could.
Because
I
if that
could
was
look
the
it up.
case, there shouldn't be no more women movement, equality, and all that. That should be done and dead. Because if you're doing it in the black community, that I'm sure it's happening in other communities as well. Because the black community is not the most educated community.
Black women are. I'm telling you, black women.
I agree with you that black women are more educated now than they have in the past. I'm not arguing that fact. I get that.
Okay.
What I'm having a hard time swallowing is you saying that there are more black women today that are taking care of black men.
Just based on documents.
I want to try to agree, but
I just want to see the facts.
You got to send them the link.
Women have businesses.
No
Okay,
doubt.
more black
No
women
doubt. No
are in
doubt.
higher positions, have higher college degrees.
Women are moving up. Where does it put in that family? The family that we hold so dear. Where does that put our family now versus back then?
But what is the cause?
That's the
thing.
cost.
No,
Women
the
are
cause is
sacrificing
systemic
family.
racism.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
No. There's no
can't.
way a woman, black women, women of any women can say that they're progressively moving in the working field and say they're not sacrificing family to do so. Because women are not having kids like they used to. If they are having kids, they're having one.
They
Where
are
back then,
sacrificing.
that's my point.
Yeah,
So
I'm-
where is that putting us as a society as far as a family?
And that's the problem.
Where the women are supposed to be the nurturers, naturally.
Right?
They're not home now to be the nurturers at home.
Yeah, and
They're-
the men ain't here. The men in jail.
Okay.
The men are convicts or ex-convicts. This is what I'm saying.
I think a man
I'm
can
not
raise a
saying
child.
the
Man,
women
it's
want
hard. It's
to.
hard for the man. I get that.
I am not saying it's that the women want to do this.
My point is
I'm
the
saying this
shift
is
that's
just the reality.
happening. The shift that's happening is who is suffering? The black family.
Yes, they
At
are.
the end of the day, that's my point.
Completely agree with
The
you.
black family,
Yes.
because again, like you're saying, the women are progressing, they're working,
Mm-hmm.
so the black families now are the one who are
Suffering.
taking the
We are
brunt
suffering.
of the suffering
We
because
are.
the black family are not having kids anymore like they
Mm-hmm.
used to. If they're having kids, they're having it real late in life,
Yeah, that's true.
or they're having one.
But it's not just black women, though. When it comes to the families, being disproportionate. But in the white community, the man is still
The head of the household.
The head.
Yeah.
In terms of successfulness. But, like I said, I agree with you. The black family is not where it needs to be. Like I said, also, women are doing this. It's not because they want to. There are other factors that are in play where they have no choice. I have to. if I'm a single mother, for whatever reason, the dads are not alive or they're in prison, I have to go above and beyond and try to do things.
You ain't got nothing to say about that?
You can disagree. Do you feel like the women want this?
I'm not going to necessarily say the women want it. I just think that when you fight for something, it opens the door for other things that maybe you didn't think about. And I think that a lot with the equality of women, not to say women are not supposed to be equal, but I think a fight so hard for equality for women and the women movement, it costs the black family in that, because women want to be heard, which and I get, and I'm not against, but I think that when you fight for something, you're sacrificing something somewhere else. And the sacrifice, unfortunately for us, is the black family. Because women are fighting to be heard, fighting to hold positions, fighting to show, hey, I can hold my own. And them doing that, the women are sacrificing their family.
I don't know if black women in general are really fighting that Me Too women's movement. I think it's more, that's a white woman thing. I think black women, I mean, there are.
So what is the movement that black women are fighting?
Trying to stay above water, trying to make things work, trying to get these degrees. Like, we don't have the luxury to really do this whole women's movement. We just trying to feed the children. So if we have to push and push and push.
So then why are you having children if there's no men?
Obviously there were men there. Remember I said there are other reasons why these men may not be in place. Black male death is really high. Black men incarcerated is really high. Okay? This is what I'm talking about. So at the time, I have the kids. We're a lovely family, but things happen, right? Black women are trying to just keep their head above water the best that they can.
Hey, both of you guys are making great sense. Our favorite segment of the show, So Random. I'm going to ask some questions. Both of you guys. I was going to ask Val, and Val's going to ask me, but since we have a guest here, and he was doing great, I think he's going to say some amazing things, so I'm going to ask him some amazing questions. Val, I'm going to ask you one question, then I'm going to ask Yrvens, okay? Ladies first. If you could be with a celebrity for one day, who would it be? Although you're married, but I'm just asking.
If I could be with a celebrity? Yes. I never thought about this like that.
Well, I'm asking, and comments taken.
I would probably say Jason Momoa. Don't judge.
Listen, I ain't say fuck him. I said to be with him, like you can walk around and have a conversation.
Yes,
right?
He's like a very
fun person. The way you said that just seemed very sexual. Jason Momoa.
No, if you ever watch this video, the host is like dying.
But you stuck your tongue out when you said his name like that. I saw a tongue.
Like you normally do.
All right.
No, he's really fun. He seems like eccentric. He doesn't follow like regular normal rules. Any interview I've ever watched of him, he's always laughing and joking.
So she likes the Aquaman. I got you.
Right. And I've never seen the movie, by the way.
You never seen the movie?
No.
Okay. Yrvens, back. I'm going to you. What is your biggest fear in a relationship?
Biggest fear in a relationship?
Yes.
Is to be in love with my partner and she's not in love with me.
Woo!
Wow.
That was good.
Dang.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Deep.
You want to ask me something?
What is your biggest fear in a relationship?
My biggest fear in a relationship is if I'm having sex with my partner, someone else.
Oh.
Why you look at me like that?
I don't know. I'm just thinking about having sex. That's not on my mind. I don't give a fuck who she's thinking about. Okay?
That's the real shit. But no, I'm saying if you're married, right? If I'm married to someone, I just, you know what I'm saying? You're looking at me, I'm looking at you. I want to know that I'm on your mind, you're on my mind, right? Right? Positive stuff.
So do you feel like sex plays a major role then in a relationship?
That was something I was going to ask later on. But yes. Yes, it does. It plays a big role. Yes. Yrvens, would you like to ask me anything? Nothing? All right, Val? Is there something else you want to ask me?
No.
All right, so let's move on to one of my favorite segments. It's called Freak Time.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Since we have a special guest here, I know Yrvens, you're saying ladies first, but I'm going to ask you right now. What is your favorite sex fetish and why?
Fetish?
Yeah. If you start talking about gerbils in your ass, though,
nah, that's an exit point for me. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to disappoint. I mean, I don't think I'm that freaky. I don't know if I have any fetishes. Man.
None?
I like my nipples sucked. I don't know. I think maybe that. Yeah. That's kind of weird. I don't know.
You don't like it pinched or anything?
No, not pinched. No, I don't like pain. I don't want pain. Okay. I don't want to get punched, and I don't want to punch you.
So Val, I'm gonna ask you the same question.
What? I thought all the questions were for our.
Well, he answered it right now, but I'm gonna ask you.
I don't think I have a fetish.
Come on.
I don't
You don't have a fetish?
I don't have a fetish.
I ain't gonna say it out here now, but you don't have a fetish.
No, a fetish is like that's not really normal.
Yeah,
like
it's hard. That's
toes and
I got you.
you know, I don't know. I don't think I have anything weird.
No?
What?
Okay. I ain't gonna put our business out there like that.
Oh my god.
I ain't gonna put it out there like that. Anyone wants to ask me a question?
What's your fetish?
You just want
I want to know what's your fetish. What's your fetish?
You can't wait.
My
God.
You better have a true fetish.
Damn, a lot of people gonna be listening to this stuff. Your mom gonna be listening to this, man. I gotta be careful what I say. Right? It's too late, right? Probably maybe the pinching of the nipple, a little wrestling.
Fetish,
I don't know. For me, no, it's not a fetish.
Wrestling.
Yeah, a little wrestle. No.
So you basically like me. We ain't got no fetish. Just say that.
Right,
That's not a real fetish.
I thought that was a fetish. I don't know.
He gave you an example of a fetish.
What was it?
Like you can only get off if looking at the toes or you're looking.
I ain't looking no toes.
You like the booty hole
Or
played with.
Ain't nobody playing in my booty hole.
You know?
The sign on my ass says "Do not enter." I don't play with the booty hole. No.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that I haven't been exposed to anything to say that I have a fetish yet. So.
So when you gonna get exposed? How?
I don't know. I mean,
you ain't getting anything.
I can't say. I don't know. There's nothing that I've tried. I can say, oh, that this is a fetish that's out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
I can say that's out of the ordinary. So it's hard because I'm not. I don't know. I guess I'm not that.
Not that freaky. I got you.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just a simple guy.
Well, you need to try yogurt, sir. So,
well, that's not a fetish, though. To me, that's not a fetish. Yogurt. I mean, I've done that whipped cream, but that's not a fetish.
Man, that's somewhat of a fetish.
Oh, no, a fetish is like, man, you have a dominatrix come in and smack that ass, and like you gotta have that for you to come off.
To do the smacking thing.
No, it's different. It's different between him just smacking it versus you dressed up in a dominatrix outfit. You have a whip. And you have to you have to kind of break skin a little bit for him to get off.
We ain't breaking
that's a fetish.
Dress up as little babies.
Right, that's a fetish. That's a fetish.
That ain't fetish. That's weird. That's
why.
Well, okay, fetishes are weird.
Okay.
Fetishes are weird.
Well, I'm going to leave that as that. I'd like to say thank you to my special guest, Yrvens Guerrier. Thank you for coming through.
Man, thank you for having me. I mean, a little surprised you asked me to come out. I mean, I'm off the grid. I don't have no followers to bring to your show. I mean, I don't have social media, but the fact that you wanted to hear my opinion, man, I appreciate you. Listen, and you know, you're my brother from another mother.
Appreciate that, brother. Thank you.
Whatever you need me for,
so,
man.
Let me tell you guys about Yrvens, man. Me and Yrvens go way back, man. That's like my brother.
Don't tell the story because obviously your wife don't even know the story. Because he gave her the wrong story. Talking about we met in a different elementary school. We go back since we were like 6 years old, man.
Almost 40 years, almost.
Yeah, man.
Damn, I just told myself.
Blessed though, I'm blessed.
Just told my age. Jeez.
I'm blessed. I embrace it, man. I'll be honest with you. I embrace it.
Well, thank you so much, Irv, for coming to the show.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yes. With that being said, I want to say commitment. You know, love and appreciate your partner. If you love your partner and you love them dearly and you want to see it further in the relationship, don't be afraid to commit.
Amen.
What you got to say, Val?
So if you want to be in a relationship that, you know, will make you happy, make sure you communicate that.
Now, with that being said, thank you for listening to Consequence Podcast. Yeah. And I'll see you on the next episode. Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Thank you.